welcome to Little Big Circle, where we're little in size and
big in conversation.
And we have a show for you today. Is a very important topic. We're sharing this on our show, on Little Big Circle show. But I am your host, and my name is Peggy.
I'm your co-host. I'm Judea.
And I am Tessie.
Well, welcome, Tessie. Judea, we just want to talk to the audience today. We really want to help people figure this out, because tell them what our topic is, Judea.
So today we're gonna talk about being a step parent, and there's so much to talk about with that. You know, it comes with a lot of stuff. So let's just dive in on this, and hopefully we can share some insight to people and give our experiences or the things that we've gone through, and help somebody from wherever, give our perspectives. Sorry. And we'll just go from there. So who's a step parent? Tessie, are you a step parent?
I am not a step parent. I had a step parent growing up, but I've dated people with children. And so, yeah, it's different.
It is very different. I'm a bonus mom. The whole step thing gives me, Cinderella vibes. So I like to say I'm a bonus mom. But I'm a bonus mom, and I have a bonus dad. So I know from both ends how it can be. And he's been in my life since I was a preteen. So yeah, how about you, Mom?
Well, I have not been a stepmom or any of that sort, but I am a stepchild. I had a step parent. I have a step parent. And it can go a whole wide view of things with stepping parents. So, on the side that I am a step child. Okay.
Right.
So, and growing up as a stepchild, that is, to me, was hurtful. I don't care how hard the step parent tries to be that father or that mother. It's no comparison for me. I didn't have no gross,
encounters
things happen to me and stuff
right.
like that. It's just knowing that the real step parent of that parent, and you have siblings by that parent, but they're not your parent, hurts the most, because you can see the difference in how they treat their real child and how they treat the stepchild. That's my opinion. Even though they try hard to keep it on a neutral basis, but you can see, as I'm speaking of a stepchild. And and anybody else have anything to say on that? But that's just my opinion of it.
I will say about my stepdad, my mom and my stepdad got together while she was pregnant with me. So I've known him my whole entire life. Like, they have 5 kids together. So my brothers and sisters, all except for one, are by my stepdad. I was born, and he's just always been a part of my life. And I imagine if I would have met him when I was older, like, because I've always known my dad and I've always known my stepdad. So it was never an issue of, oh, where's my dad? And y'all have a dad. Like, I always knew where my dad was. I always knew him. But my stepdad, he didn't try and be my dad. In fact, when I was younger, I probably resented him for not trying to be my dad. But as an adult, there are so many things that I am glad he said when I was growing up that helped me be a better person. So, like, for him, I just think he's the greatest thing ever. And like, because it's like you have the best of 2 different men who were giving you the best they had, in my case. But I think now, the way society is, I think it's harder on parents coming into a relationship. It's harder for people coming into a relationship to be a step parent because people have brought all their animosity because maybe they had like these horrible, terrible situations with their step parents. So they're putting it on their ex's new partner. And so it makes it harder.
In my situation, I don't know. My pop was like great. I mean, he have a mouth like, and it goes, and he never. But I mean, it's weird because I've never lacked like in the father area. I didn't have my biological father, but my uncles and my grandfather made sure like I didn't miss out on having a dad. You know what I'm saying? And so when my stepfather came in the picture, he just like, I mean, you know, he just fit right in. He never treated me any kind of way. And there were days where he probably should have threw me out the window, but he didn't. And then now, you know, as an adult, knowing, okay, a teenage girl, oh my gosh, he dealt with a lot with me in my mouth. And I always was, I'm gonna tell my uncles if I didn't like nothing, I'm gonna tell my uncles. But he never tried to replace my biological father. He's always been an advocate for that guy, even though, I mean, that's a whole situation by itself, but he's always been, you know, don't talk bad about him. That's still your father. That's your padre, you know. But to this day, he's my kid's grandfather, and they don't know no one other than their other grandfather, and he does not skip a beat with them. So from my experience, it has been great having a stepfather who treated me like his own. He really did. And he had a son when he married my mom. So I had a stepbrother, and we just, you know, we got along like I was the older sister, and he respected that up until he died. May he rest in peace. But that was the dynamics of the family, you know. But everybody doesn't have that. There are so many different things that people go through. I hear horror stories about that. But let's talk about one of you, Tessie, I think you brought up that subject of how difficult it is dating a person that has a child. Because we've been that child where, okay, the mom is dating a guy or married to a guy, and you might feel, even though in my situation, I never felt that, but I'm certain there probably were days where I was just like, oh, I just wish that was my real father, you know, because there's certain moves and grooves that we all have that comes from someone else, and we don't get to see that. So yeah. How does that work?
So I've dated a couple people with children. The last relationship I was in, we dated like, I don't know, close to 4 years. And he had twins. They were teens. And it was very interesting because, like, I think that a lot of the issues just came from him not dealing with his issues with the relationship. And so that bled over into the relationship with the children. And I think that's the one thing people don't understand is that if you're toxic parents or toxic people in a relationship, and then you have children, those children are going to pick up on that toxicity. And then when you start to try to have these other relationships, that toxicity is going to show up in those other relationships. And if people don't start saying, let me fix myself, or let me fix my issue with this other parent, then it's going to make it bad for the step parent. My sister, she was in a relationship with a guy. He had kids. He passed away a long time ago, but she still has a relationship with those kids. Those kids are still my niece and nephew, because the parents just got to the point where it's like, well, if you're going to be the other mom, then just be all you can be. And that's what people have to start realizing. You can't let your issues with your relationship ruin somebody being a step parent to your child. My son, his dad married his girlfriend. They've been together probably, he's 17 now, and they've probably been together since he was like 2 or 3, and they got married and they're together. And I'm just so happy for them. And he has never caught me trying to tell me anything about her, because I think he realizes I'll be like, no. He'll call me and say she did whatever. Like, well, did you tell her thank you? What are you doing to show her you appreciate her? Because that's the kind of relationship I want him to have. That's kind of respect I want him to have. There's a person who's dealing with you nicely, and you don't have to worry about it. So respect that. And I think that as parents, we have to teach our children, if your other parent has moved on, I can't be bitter about it. If they picked a good person that's treating you nice, appreciate it, be thankful.
That's real talk right there. I just want to clarify that I do have a awesome stepdad. Well, he's awesome, and I do have a real awesome godfather, and he's more awesome than anything to me. So I love him, you know. And I did have men in my life, far as trying to raise me, because I was hard to raise, so they was trying. But I want to know, I understand on this panel that we had good relationships with our step parent and all that. I want to know if it was someone that's on listening to us right now, or do not have a good relationship with their step parent, and their step parent really treating them like a step parent. I mean, like Judea would have said, Cinderella or something like that. You know, how can we comfort them, and how can we, you know, lift them up? And I know it might be hard for us to feel that feeling right now.
If it's a child going through with their step parent?
Yes. We might don't know because we don't feel that feeling. We just trying to help that person that do not have what we have and blessed to have.
The relationship. Right.
You know, so I'm going to give it to you, Judea.
Oh, okay. So I think, I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in that shoe. So for a second, because I don't want to be, you know, if you're a child and your parent
or a teenager.
Okay. Well, that's still the child. You're
okay.
The kid of a parent who has married, and now you have a step parent, and the situation is rocky. You don't really like him or her. I think the best thing to do is to probably have a conversation with your parent, without being, you know, just be honest and saying, if you have a stepfather, you could talk to your mom and say, hey, Mom, this is what I'm feeling, right? Like maybe you feel that parent doesn't treat you right, because there are some step parents who do not treat the other kid the same. I mean, I know some personally, they don't treat the kid the same. It's not a situation where, okay, I know I married you and your child comes with you, and so I love that child unconditionally. You might be in that situation where you just feel like this person doesn't love me, doesn't give me attention, has taken away my mom or has taken away my dad, and now they start this whole new family without me. You know, they got their own kids together and I'm just alone. What do I do? If that's you, you have to find a way to talk to somebody, talk to a friend, because it's not wrong. We cannot tell you that you're feeling a wrong way. I can't dictate how you should feel in that situation, because that's a hurtful situation when you feel like there's nobody you can go to, and the only person that you trusted went and married someone else, and now your whole world is shattered. But it's not. If you talk to the parent that you have, talk to your other parent. It's hard. It was because depending on the age, right? They might not know how. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's up to the parent, to the mom or to the dad, to actually pay attention and see, hey, ask the questions. How do you really feel about this person that I married, that I brought into your life, because it's not just marrying them, they got to marry your kid too. So I think that's the biggest thing, is for the parents to be like, let me make sure my kid is okay and work through that. Because the child might not, they just might not know what to say. And it starts being like they're acting out, but they're just trying to express themselves and say, hey, I need some love. That's what I think. I don't know.
Tessie?
I mean, I would say, and this is depending on the age, because at different ages, when people get together, you're going to have different feelings. So in my case, my mom was like, they were together. When I was born, they were already together. Like when she came home from the hospital, we went to his house. That's how long I've been knowing him. But when my dad would get a girlfriend, oh man, it would just be, I would feel so like, oh my gosh, why are you leaving me?
I don't
Why
believe.
are you like, he has, like, it's not like he's a serial date or anything, but he's had girlfriends, and there were some who just really, embodied that whole, oh, we're all together, and some who were just like, oh no, I got you, and you just happen to have a kid. So to children, I would say, make sure that, you go to your parent, but make sure that you talk like with yourself. You think about it, how you're really feeling. Are you mad that you don't get all the time anymore? Or is it really a bad situation? Because there were some situations when I look back as an adult, I can say, oh, I should have did better. I was being a horrible, terrible child. I was being a brat. But there are some situations where I wish I would have just been able to go and say, hey, when you do this, I feel like, and I think that would have helped a lot. I think a lot of times there are people who don't know how to parent. And so you throw a 12-year-old in with a person who's never parented, and they don't know what to do. So they're just thinking back, well, what did my parents do to me? What did people who raised me do to me? And so they're trying to do this thing, and it's not the right thing, but they don't know any better. And like the kids aren't saying, this hurts, my feelings or whatever. And so it ends up causing problems. So I just say, if you can write it down and maybe get your feelings out so that you can go to your parent and not sound just like an angry child, but just really be able to say, look, when this happens, this is how I feel. Because sometimes it's just a matter of parents don't know, and they're not paying attention to that. You're healthy, you're fed, you're not homeless, you're not being physically abused. So they don't know to stop and say, well, how do you feel about this? And parents are trying to get better. We are. All parents always are. So.
Always.
So is it harder for a male child or a girl child when it's separation? Do it hurt? Okay, I'm gonna say this because when in my situation, and when me and my husband we separated, I had boys. They were not. They wasn't not accepting the other woman at all, and I don't know if that happens because they are boys or it's just that way. I don't know. But girls, when my mother is starting to get into another relationship, and the other side of it try to get closer to me, I was more distant because I knew that was not my father, but that was my sibling's father. So I was more distant from that. Hard as he tried to, include me in, but I was more distant. And that's my take of it. He didn't do anything wrong, nothing wrong, but it was something inside of me knowing that is my sibling's father and not my father. So my question to you guys on the panel is it because a woman feel that way, or is it a man that feels that way? We don't know. you know.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Tessie.
I think it has to do with the person. So when my mom and stepdad got divorced, my mom dated, after that, she got remarried again. And like my younger siblings, she left their dad. So they were just like, oh my gosh, you left our dad. And and this man is not our dad, whatever. And I was just like, it didn't bother me in that way because she wasn't like, I never seen her with my dad, so I didn't care. Like, it makes me no difference. But the relationship I have with that husband and the relationship I have with my stepdad are two totally different relationships because they came at two totally different times in my life. So I don't think it's, because this is a boy, I had boys and they felt this way, or I had girls and they felt that way. I think it's where you at in your life when this breakup happens and what does it do to you? And I think that's the part people miss is that when parents break up, parents go to marriage counseling, they go to, they do all these things, but nobody thinks about, hey, we have these children who had this home and now their home is broken. So their whole, as kids, your home gets broke. Now your whole life is broken. Everybody, it's terrible and horrible, but parents don't think about stuff like that. So are we helping everybody in this relationship? Because kids are a part of the relationship, and not that parents should not go on to have relationships. They should just make sure they don't forget about their children in that process.
In the process, yeah. I used to fall out, y'all. I'm not even gonna stunt. My mom used to have go on dates. If I ain't like the guy, Judea, don't do it. I mean, I would fall out. I'd scream and look like, is he looking? I would be terrible.
Wow, Judea.
I would be so terrible. There's one guy took my mom out to dinner. I mean, it was so nice, right? But the way my mom works, like if you taking me, you taking my child. So we always, Judea, let's go. And we went to this restaurant. I didn't like him. He wasn't cute. I was, I don't know, 7, 8. And I was like, oh no, this is not. I remember this day. It's such a nice little fancy restaurant. And I fell out. He tried to hold my mom's hand. Honey. That was it. I fell out in that little restaurant. My mom I'm certain she was like, I can't stand my child. I fell out. I'm tipping the waters over. I'm kicking, screaming in a little green dress, kicking, no, somebody, screaming. They left that restaurant. We never go back and she never see me. Mission accomplished. Oh. Now, was that the right thing to do?
No, that was not the right thing to do, children. That was not right at all.
But I mean,
But they do that though. I mean,
they do that.
It happens. I'm certain it happens.
Do that. They do try to break up the other parent. That's what we need to talk about. The children try to break up the other parent. All right, Tessie, let's get it.
They do, but like if they're a good kid, they do like you did and make sure the relationship never gets started. I remember when my oldest son was little, that's when everybody was like selling their CDs out the trunk of their cars and stuff like that. And guys would be like, oh, you want my CD? She doesn't listen to music. What?
I love it.
I listen to music. Like, are you serious? I mean, guys were trying to talk to me. She doesn't talk to strangers. What? No. What is going on?
Oh my gosh. Kids.
But you have to, and that's why I say as parents have to do better at saying, this is what I'm going to do. And we have to make sure it's going to work out, because I'm not going to say I don't think it's right, but like as a parent, you just say, okay, kid, here's your new dad or whatever. And it's like, I don't even get to meet this person. What is really going on? And are you making sure that I, as a person, am okay? Like, are parents making sure children are okay? And that I think to be a step parent, you have to be able to say to your partner, whoever it is you're with, hey, you need to go spend some time with your kid. You need to do this thing. You need to check that behavior. You need to make sure. And a person who wants to be in a relationship and who is ready for a relationship, might give you some pushback, but then they'll go ahead and take care of this thing that you're telling them they need to take care of. Because if you're going to be together, there are going to be these children involved. And so are we going to have animosity at every family dinner, every night at the table?
Right.
Or are we trying to move forward?
Falling out. No falling out, y'all.
No falling out.
It's too much. You might hurt your back.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one thing, what I would like to know is that should the step parent date the other child? Should they go on a date? Should they have some quality time? Cool. Go ahead, Judea.
So, okay. So I have to, everything that I have to express my experiences. So when I met my husband, he was very clear, which is what I absolutely love. Like, he's very clear on certain things. And he was clear, like, this is my son. This is how this works, right? Are you ready to be a stepmother to my son? Do you know what that means? I mean, he talked to me like I was slow. First of all, I should have been offended, number one, but I wasn't, okay? Should have been. But he made that clear. Like, I have a kid. How are you going to treat my kid? And before I even was like, yeah, I can. Well, let him come over. I have a brother they're 2 weeks apart. My little brother and my bonus kid, they're 2 weeks apart. Let them come over. They were 4. Come over. Let them play. Let me see how this works. All right. Because I was never a kid lover. Let's just put that out there. I still don't like kids. I'm not that person. So let them come over. Let's see how this works. I was very honest. Okay.
Wow.
So they came. Look, he knows this too. He'll tell anybody. Mom Jew don't like kids. But he comes over, and the poor thing, oh my gosh, he was scared. So in my grandmother's yard, there was these frogs, and he was petrified of the frogs. And he screamed, and I'm like, first off, I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do nothing. It wasn't me. I don't know why he's screaming. Oh my gosh. And my grandma was like, well, you need to go figure that out. And I was like, oh, go figure out what's happening. He's afraid of frogs. Okay. So now I'm like, how do I fix this situation? So we worked through that.
I'm afraid of frogs.
Man, that kid is petrified to this day. So then we get past that. And I think we spent a day and a half together. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this kid is so cute. Like, just so lovable. He with these big old brown eyes, and he just, innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, I went back and I let my husband know, like, all right, I'm ready to give him my entire heart.
Yeah.
And that is when we started planning our wedding. But it wasn't up until he made sure, like, I don't need you coming into my life and you can't accept my son, which for that I have to respect, because there's not a lot of men out there that would do that when they're getting into a relationship and they have other kids, right? So my mom, for me, did the same thing, along with, making sure, hey, when you marry my mom, or my grandmother said to my pop, when you marry her, you get this little girl and everything that comes with her. Are you ready to spoil her like we do? Are you ready to discipline her like we do? Are you ready to go to the schools to do X, Y, and Z? This is a relationship that you have now that you're about to embark on becoming a preteen's father. Are you ready for that? So you kind of got to date. You kind of got to take that kid to get to know them, to make sure you know how to interact with that child. You know what buttons not to push. You know how to get them talking. You become their friend, so to say, right? You gotta date them. You gotta get to know them. You gotta know the personality. You gotta let them get to know you, and you have to be authentically you. You can't put up a veil, because they're gonna see right through that in a couple of years. So yes, you should date.
I mean, this conversation is so awesome. But our time is running out.
Oh no.
No, and I'm thinking that we should have a part 2 on this conversation. I don't know, viewers, if you want to hear.
I think so.
You need to email us and tell us what you think. But before I leave this, we need to answer some viewer questions. Here we go.
Don't you just love those viewer questions?
I love those. I don't love them because sometimes they say that. Well, okay.
That's they be trying to get dates. They be trying to get real dates.
Yeah. It says, how can I get on the show? Oh wow, Judea, answer that question.
I'm gonna say what you look like.
Oh my God.
Right.
Judea.
Email us and let us know what you want to talk about, and we will bring you on. We love people here.
Okay. Oh, and the other question is, do you have a website for Little Big Circle?
One is coming. I can assure you, one is coming. It's in the mix. It's in the work.
That's her fault.
One is coming. Yes.
Okay. And this question is, I don't know about this, but it says,
Lord,
what do you think about same-sex marriages? True question here. I cannot answer that question, but Tessie, can you answer that question?
I mean, if y'all both happy and y'all both want to get married, make it happen.
All right then. Okay then. All right. It says, I have so many viewer questions. I'm like, what the hell?
That's good though. I'm happy people like us to comment.
Goodness, they are
and ask questions. I love
right.
them.
So far, no hate mail. So far.
Don't speak it up. Okay. Where is it? This was okay. We talked about that already. Churches, jobs, on people discussing step parents and churches and jobs and all that. We already discussed that one. So thank you guys for your questions that we have that you gave us, and we try to answer it the best way we can. I think we love you guys. I'm telling you, with a genuine love to the our viewers, and I
think we love y'all too.
I do love you guys. I do. How about you? How about you, Tessie? But I'm saying, because I'm so thankful that you guys are tuning in.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank you to our audience.
Oh,
yes,
here we go. Who on the panel smash and grab us? Who on the panel
smash and grabbers?
That sounds pedophilish. Pervertish. Very pervertish, not pedophilish. Pervertish.
I'm thinking that these people are looking at our previous video.
That one episode.
I would say I never smashed and passed, me personally.
Are they asking like who we smashed and passed on the panel or just in life?
On the panel.
I ain't smashed nobody on the panel.
Maybe they're asking like who on the panel is into smashing and passing.
Well,
so
let me try on and get panel smash and pass.
Maybe that means nobody. Like period. Nobody.
I don't think anybody on the panel has
smashed and passed. That's gross. I mean, if that's what you're into, then that's
what you're into.
Bodily fluid,
smashing and
sharing. That person is interested. They're like, well, if you do that, can I get in?
Right.
All right. With this, I'm going to say goodnight. Judea, you have any last words?
No, join us next time on the Little Big Circle Show. We love y'all.
We love y'all.
He's so true.